What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Okay, somebody needs to get their mans and tell me why this happened. And please tell me they used my TCG player link in the description down below, costing them nothing extra for the horrendous and terrible buyout they would already be doing. Evil Hero Adusted Gold has no business being northward of $100 price point, yet here we are with it at $130 freaking dollars lowest on TCG player, 5 total prices, and then we also see on eBay barely under 100 with a brand new listing before people are trying to put theirs out. Completely bought out on eBay. Everything is brand new listings. This card is short printed, yes, horrendously in the US, but the same thing with Malicious Bane is going to happen, where people are going to go over to European YCSs, and now the pros are going to pay attention to this too. They went for Malicious Bane because it was the better card. They're going to go ahead and buy these up. They'll pay a little extra. Look at this, 32 euros, 34, 35. They'll gladly pay these prices, and they'll bring them back. They'll start undercutting the market on each other, and it will tank down. You're fighting a losing battle versus international quantities. Malicious Bane sitting now under $60 US when it was struggling to breach under $75 before. It just will not last. It's not going to come to the forefront of the metagame under the new master rule. It may achieve rogue status and get a hype top here and there, and people be like, oh, it's so expensive, but it is not going to be in demand for sales at the prices you're hoping versus what you bought it out at. This is a terrible buyout. There's so many better things to spend your money on during the off season. I'll give a perfect example. The meta stuff tends to cool off during this time. Look at Prismatic Secret Rare Call by the Grave. Weird to call multiple things Prismatic Secret Rare, by the way, Konami. I wish you would fix that on your website. But look at this, $4 with free shipping if you buy something else from this guy. The daily grind. Good job. You're actually grinding. You're the lowest price for a near mint copy. Wow, the dude versions are a solid 3 and above now. That's the cheapest you can absolutely get them at, and they keep going up. What are the other versions at? Oh wow, the super rare also is $3 and above, and then you have the common over here, $3 freaking dollars for the lowest about. This is pretty crazy that the highest rarity version of a card played by many people in the metagame crashed this hard. I didn't personally see this going under $8 when pre-sales were 20, but you can bet a lot of people are holding and waiting for it to go up, so there will be replenishes on the market, yet I still think this will bubble up towards the $8 to $10 mark come the WCQ season. This is the perfect kind of thing to go after in the off season, especially when all the comparables are so close in price for a rarity that you will not see again on this card. Speaking of Prismatic Secret Rares, the more expensive kind, Masquerena is falling out during the off-season and finally coming down under $450. I don't think we've actually seen this point for her since the actual buyouts, but it is only one lister here over on eBay before it is $450. Still though, she was bought out to a point of $600, and we see the trail back. How long can people keep going after these Prismatic Secret Rare buyouts, as we also see Apollosa getting a buyout on her regular version, but the Prismatic version, we have a lister at $450, under that $500 mark. People want to make sales, and they're realizing each set is going to have a chase Prismatic, and as the line continues, the price and demand is going to dip, especially if meta play dips. These are two amazing cards. I don't think they'll be out of the metagame anytime soon. And as you see with Apollosa actually heating up out of the offseason as the Prismatic goes down, something just doesn't add up. And it's that the money isn't there to just keep throwing at continuous buyouts of Prismatic Secrets. Now over on eBay, it is a little cheaper, but it is similarly spiking up very fast. So people are talking about how Apollosa is one of the primary links you're still going to want to play under the new master rule. You either end your board, you stop in the bureau, does so many things for you. I do agree she's still gonna see heavy play under the new master rule, and people want to get her before the WCQ because she's one of the cards least likely to see a reprint beforehand. But Battles of Legend does need a boss monster, and if it comes before the WCQ, please Konami, repeat history. I feel like the one of in the extra deck to sell the set very well could be Apollosa, similar to Crystal Wing in the past. I really do see that happening. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is in our market watch, by the way, thanks to a friend on Discord. We actually see that the original versions are lowest $8 now from some Zolkin hype. I love that pun. And Zolkin Synchro Turbo is somewhat real, but I still feel like its end boards are just kind of weaker versions of what other decks already do. But people love their Zolkin. First edition is towards 870, almost matching the Unlims, so that doesn't make too much sense to me. I think the Unlimiteds will fall back out. Somebody probably just went back after all of them on market up to a certain price point. I think the first heads could actually continue to get bought out, and then we see the ultra rares just straight chilling if you're still looking for your copies. If I recall, these were somewhat hard to get out of Dupo, and the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss was what was easier to go after, the one that you summon with Arcapane! So, when we look at Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon here, I would actually consider getting your ultra rare sooner than later, but if you can afford it, the secret rare is where I would be after, even if it's the Battles of Legend version. Mid-rarity, kind of a bad pickup, but I would still want a secret rare over an ultra rare, personally. Cyber Emergency is going up on TCG Player, yet staying kind of chill on eBay. This is one of those examples of the line being held on TCG Player, with the sellers not really undercutting each other too hard, but it will slowly keep going down if they don't make sales. Let me know why you think Cyber Dragon stuff is going up. I don't think it really improves. In fact, I think it deproves a little bit under the new Master Rule, but I do get that you have fusion plays and crazy OTKs that are a little more unleashed. I still feel like it liked the focal choke point of Link summoning, though. And when I look at another card here rising up, it's number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. I had to scratch my head and think, did this really go up? I remember you being to around $4 to $5, and on eBay I do see that it is cheaper, only 4 copies left before it is spiking over here as well. So yes, this is getting bought out slash going up right now. Galaxies has a lot of hype behind it. I call it better Blue Eyes personally under the new Master Rule, but there are plenty of different ways to play Blue Eyes, and Galaxy keeps getting new support down the line. We'll have to see how it turns out. I think it'll be a rogue status, but there is potential there. I want to see how it turns out, but I'm timid to say that it'll see meta play. I think it'll be rogue play. Talking about another rogue deck, Cosmo Dark Lady. Okay, $18. She only has her one printing. Cosmojo's not jumping right now. First edition Dark Destroyer's not past 18 right now. This is kind of a random rolling buyout, and it happens to Cosmos from time to time. I don't think she's going to see play in something else random, but let me know if I've missed something, maybe a modify play per se. I just don't see it, and you still see a Canadian listing that doesn't really know how to list. It says used, and then it's like, the condition is first or unlimited or something like that. So it's like, they're not giving a real description besides used, so people are timid to buy these copies before it is similarly bought out over here on eBay. I just don't like this buyout. I think it'll go back down over time. I respect Cosmos, but their chance was when Sky Strikers were meta, having their big untargetable ship. If they were gonna shine, it would have been similar to how Johnny did it with Zodiac's Asian Persuasion. It would have been around then, I would think. Kitchen Dragon Maid down a little bit. Remember, it was bought out to the point of 45. We see it back under 40. And Nurse falling for one of the first times in a while towards $20. It was 23 to 24. You're going to have to give this buyout after buyout after buyout if you want to keep pace. And people are waiting for it to fall in price. So I do think there's a barrier to where it starts to fall. People have their mindsets placed of, okay, when it falls to this price, I'm getting it. And it's likely going to stop falling to that price, and then people are gonna buy it up. So I hate to admit it, but there's so many people in line for this deck waiting for the price falls that it's going to help it unnaturally stay up in price. I hate to admit that, but it will happen. The question is, where is that line? And we'll have to watch and wait and see. I just every notion of me says, really, for the artwork? And they did get a piece of new support that's pretty good, but it doesn't bring them to any kind of meta forefront. Madolche's, however, got an interesting card today, and we do see a little jump, a re-jump in Magellan. Remember, it was falling back out pretty fast. Now we see it back above $26, being its searcher. I do have a word of advice. Angeli's still sitting at 15. I feel like if these bigger pieces get reprinted, the older pieces will be what happens to go up. This repeats itself in Yu-Gi-Oh! History all the time. So I think things like Hoot Cake right now that are running out of quantities, that do have 2 versions and have a cheaper version in the original rarity for some reason. Well, they're both supers, but original printing. I feel like these cards are going to be what treks up next, and you'll want to pay attention to make sure you have your copies of if you are waiting for Madolche prices to go down to invest. Make sure you have your small stuff. Don't sleep on it and let it get bought out. Make sure you are prepared. And they could reprint those pieces even with it, but it's worth that small investment to not pay a huge price just in case. And finally, another kind of investment suggestion. I've said this once before, and it's fallen back to this point that just does not make sense to me. The lowest first edition Mythical Beast Master Cerberus, which I've seen a ton more play of in Pendulums online, is under $4. Well, here we have the cheapest first editions for the Megatons being more expensive than the first ed original, and the super rares being shorted themselves are around the same price as the first ed original secret. This doesn't make sense. Don't be buying this just blindly thinking the reprint has to be the cheapest, right? Go ahead and get yourself a first ed original secret right now if you're playing this deck and you play this card. Don't settle. Like, there's no reason to, and I feel like at some point this very well could jump towards $8 to $10. So I would definitely just want my first edition original copy and get that playset. You don't even really play a playset when you play this card, but I would have a playset just in case, instead of having the super rares. This blows my mind. Anyways, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the discussion as always. And let me know what you think about these continuing rolling Master Rule buyouts slash crazy hype in the game right now. It feels like everyone's just so supercharged, but we're about to be in that long wait for April 1st. We got about 3 months of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And you're really going to keep up pace on these buyouts. You're going to see those dips in prices, the rebuyouts on certain cards, and you know, Konami's gonna have its eyes on some reprints for Battles of Legend. I hate to say it, but we really do need a second dude. That set is what we really actually need coming into the new Master Rule to help out newer players. So I do want to see some old value destroyed so that newer players have access to those cards. They really handled that set very well, in my opinion. Thanks for watching, everybody.